live in interesting times. Today's stories. Tens of thousands flee homes in flood-hit Myanmar. Ocean Viking rescues over 80 migrants in the Mediterranean. Norway's PST intelligence service chief discusses mosque shooting. China slams Hong Kong protest violence as terrorism refugees take up beekeeping in Paris. Modern caveman offers Neanderthal survival courses in Italy. U.S. says it will deny citizenship to immigrants who use public benefits. Plus, Mix It Up brings together dance talents and promotes confidence in youth. I'm Jennifer Polentan with Eagle News, broadcasting from New York, bringing you stories from around the globe. Firefighters say vast swaths of southeastern Myanmar lie under floodwaters that have already forced tens of thousands to flee their homes as the death toll from a massive landslide hit 59. Myanmar troops and emergency responders scrambled to provide aid in flood-hit parts of the country Sunday after rising waters forced residences to flee by boat and a landslide killed at least 52 people. Every year, monsoon rains hammer Myanmar and other countries across Southeast Asia, submerging homes, displacing residents, and triggering landslides. But this season's deluge has tested disaster response after a fatal landslide on Friday in southeastern Mon State was followed by heavy flooding that reached the roofs of houses and treetops in nearby towns. Hundreds of soldiers, firefighters, and local rescue workers were still pulling bodies and vehicles out of the muddy wreckage of Pawang Township on Sunday. French charities SOS Mediterranean and MSF rescued another 81 migrants off the coast of Libya on Sunday, who joined 130 others aboard the ship Ocean Viking. The young men, mostly Sudanese, who had left Libya late Saturday in a blue rubber dinghy, clapped and cheered as the ship came into view. Sunday's rescue was the third in as many days. The ship, jointly operated by SOS Mediterranean and Doctors Without Borders, or MSF, has been patrolling international waters some 50 nautical miles off the coast of Tripoli. SOS Mediterranean Search and Rescue Coordinator Nicholas Romanuk told AFP reporter on board the rescue ship, quote, "We're the only ones in the area. The Libyan Coast Guard don't respond to distressed migrant vessels." The ship Open Arms, operated in the same by Spanish charity Proactiva, counts 160 migrants, of whom 121 have been aboard for 10 days while waiting for reluctant European Union states to take them in. Romanuk said fair weather conditions would likely encourage more departures from Libyan shores. A further incentive is that the three-day Muslim holiday, Eid al-Adha, which kicked off on Sunday, may reduce the presence of authorities patrolling Libyan beaches. About two-thirds of those aboard the Ocean Viking are Sudanese. The group rescued on Friday were from West Africa, mainly from Senegal, as well as Ivory Coast, who had come to Libya to work but got caught up in the fighting in the lawless North African country. MSF, which registers migrants on board, said Sunday that 4/5 of the latest group to be rescued were aged between 18 and 34, while 17% were under 18. The rescues come at a time of tension between Italy and other European Union states, with the Italian government refusing to let migrants land on its shores unless its European Union partners help take them in. The Ocean Viking is registered in Norway, and Italy's far-right Interior Minister, Matteo Salvini, sent a warning to Oslo last week. Salvini wrote, quote, "Italy is not legally bound nor disposed to take in clandestine, unidentified migrants from on board the Ocean Viking." Open Arms founder Oscar Camps on Sunday made a new appeal for European solidarity, tweeting, quote, "10th day on board, on a scorching Sunday in August. We have 160 reasons to carry on, 160 human beings who have the right to disembark at a safe port. Shame on you, Europe." The 9 of the migrants rescued by Open Arms were allowed to disembark on Sunday, 8 of them flown by helicopter to Malta, and one to southernmost Italian island of Lampedusa. Most were evacuated for suspected tuberculosis or pneumonia, while a 32-year-old woman required treatment for brain cancer. Hans Severe Savovold, head of the PST intelligence service, gives a press conference in Oslo after a Norwegian man suspected of killing his stepsister and opening fire at a mosque near Oslo this weekend was remanded in custody, suspected of murder and an act of terror after appearing in court beaten and bruised but smiling. 21-year-old Philip Manhouse is formally suspected of murdering his 17-year-old stepsister and a terror act at the Al-Nur Mosque on Saturday.
Ikke at vi har hatt noen konkrete indikasjoner på forestående angrepsplanlegging. Men vi har i vår kommunikasjon utad vært bevisst på å informere beslutningstagere og forebyggende enheter om utviklingen i trusselen fra de høyreekstreme. Det vi vet at mange av de menneskene som har høyreekstreme holdninger, de deler et voldelig tankegods, men erfaringsvis det svært få som går fra ord til handling. Derfor det et krevende oppdrag å fange opp og hindre de som faktisk har vilje og evne til å gjennomføre angrep. Det tror jeg alle. Det jeg ønsker å si at PST mottok et tips om siktede for om lag 1 år siden. Det ble på bakgrunn av tipset samarbeidet mellom PST og politiet, uten å finne grunnlag for å følge opp dette tipset nærmere. Jeg kan komme tilbake til det senere, men tipset var nok så vagt, og gikk ikke i retning av forestående terrorplanlegging.
Police say the suspect has, quote, extreme right views and xenophobic positions, and that he filmed the mosque attack with a GoPro camera mounted on a helmet. The Norway incident comes amid a rise of white supremacy attacks around the world. In Norway, being formally named as a suspect is a step prior to indictment. Manhouse entered the courtroom smiling to cameras, wearing dark clothes and his hair cut short. After the hearing, his lawyer, Uni Frias, said he asked to be released. She said, quote, he rejects the allegations and exercises his right to not explain himself. The court cited reasonable grounds to suspect Manhouse had committed the criminal acts and remanded him in custody for 4 weeks, as police had requested. China on Monday described unrest in Hong Kong as a sign of terrorism emerging, as state media published a video of armored personnel carriers purportedly driving towards a city bordering the territory. Beijing slammed violent protesters who said it had been thrown petrol bombs at police officers and linked them to terrorism in Hong Kong, where weeks of pro-democracy demonstrations have posed the biggest challenge to Chinese rule since the territory's 1997 British handover.
但连日来，香港激进示威者屡屡用极其危险的工具攻击警察，已经构成严重暴力犯罪，并开始出现恐怖主义的苗头。
Later on Monday, 2 state media outlets, the nationalistic tabloid Global Times and the People's Daily, ran a minute-long video compiling clips of armored personnel carriers and troop carriers purportedly driving to Shenzhen, which borders Hong Kong. The video shows roughly 24 armored carriers apparently driving through the southern city of Gansu and other troop carriers leaving eastern Fujian province. The People's Daily said in text accompanying the video, the People's Armed Police, or PAP, are in charge of handling riots, turmoil, seriously violent criminal activity, terrorist attacks, and other societal security incidents. Up next, in Paris, refugees take up beekeeping in Italy. Modern Caveman offers Neanderthal survival courses. The U.S. says it will deny citizenship to immigrants who use public benefits. Plus, in Las Vegas, Mix It Up brings together dance talents and promotes confidence in youth. These stories when Eagle News returns. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You are watching Eagle News. In the heart of Paris, refugees from Syria, Afghanistan, and Africa take up beekeeping in the hopes of finding an eco-friendly job and simply to forget their painful journey to Europe.
L'apiculture, c'est pas un métier qu'on a besoin beaucoup d'argent pour investir dans ce métier. 5 riches, on peut arriver moins que 1 000 €, on peut commencer un projet et ça augmente un peu à peu.
Too much my life, I forget it. Before difficult, but now changes my life. My mind also, I can't see this changes.
Oui, c'est un rêve, avoir un ruche des colonies des abeilles, oui, c'est magnifique.
On a toujours peur des abeilles, tu vois, non, en Afrique, parce qu'on ne connaît pas comment les insectes, ce qu'ils donnent, ce qu'il faut. C'est arrivé ici que j'ai découvert que réellement, ils ne sont pas agressifs, ils ne sont pas méchants, c'est juste qu'ils se défendent. Et c'est comme ça que je les ai aimés. Et puis, le fait que ce qu'ils apportent à la nature, à l'environnement, ça m'a encore donné plus d'amour pour eux.
We have two or three students who are taking classes with another one of our teachers who's a French teacher in apiculture, in beekeeping, and they don't speak the language at all. And the French teacher said that they're better beekeepers than he is. So it's very gestural, it's very, we do a lot of practical work and some theory just to develop the vocabulary, but most of it's very practical. That's what one refugee told me. We're not starting from zero, we're starting from -0. And I think it's a first step towards integration, because already we're working with the insects that are indigenous to France, and working with the land. I think it helps you reconnect to your new home.
Former pastry chef Guido Camia is now making a living offering Neanderthal survival courses in the Italian Alps. Guido Camia can show you how to light fires using just a flintstone, surviving on a diet of insects, and build a forest shelter. The 37-year-old, who originally trained to be a pastry chef, now makes a living offering, quote, Neanderthal survival courses in the Italian Alps. On one of his weekend trips, you can watch him climb rocks and fish from streams barefoot, dressed in animal skins, carrying a spear, and looking like something out of the Flintstones. But Camia's outdoor survival courses also come with an official stamp of approval. He said, quote, "For the past 5 years, my courses have been supervised by Italy's International Survival Federation, or the FISSS. Camia says he also gives courses in more traditional attire, but his passion for the Paleolithic gave him the idea of a Neanderthal sidekick. The administration of U.S. President Donald Trump announces new rules that aim to deny permanent residency and citizenship benefits to migrants who receive food stamps, Medicaid, and other public welfare. Acting Director of U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, Ken Cuccinelli, says migrants will be blocked from entering the country if they are likely to need public assistance, and those already here will not be able to obtain green cards or U.S. citizenship.
Through the public charge rule, President Trump's administration is reinforcing the ideals of self-sufficiency and personal responsibility, ensuring that immigrants are able to support themselves and become successful here in America. Our rule generally prevents aliens who are likely to become a public charge from coming to the United States or remaining here and getting a green card. Public charge is now defined in a way that ensures the law is meaningfully enforced and that those who are subject to it are self-sufficient.
In Las Vegas, Mix It Up brings together dance talents and promotes confidence in the youth. Eagle News correspondents Jenny Bensurdo and Ranadi Kabulong with the story.
Hey Hey guys, I'm Jenny.
And I'm Ronnie.
And we're here at Mix It Up.
Presented by Culture Shock here in Las Vegas.
And this is a dance program that showcases
young talent across Las Vegas.
So let's go!
The showcase together is just kind of like the bonding of the dance community, what Las Vegas to offer. It's also our fundraising too, and also getting everybody familiar what Culture Shock is and what the mission for being nonprofit and youth outreach programs.
Outlet creatively and emotionally, and a lot of times there's so many problems going on, whether it be at school, at home, problems that life brings, and dance is a way to come in and express that, whether it's through hip-hop, contemporary, tap, lyrical, b-boy, acro. There's so many ways to let out, whether it be sadness, anger, frustration, happiness. So hopefully we're providing that outlet for the kids.
Is really fun, and we all laugh and play, but then when it comes to preparing for the dances, it's very strict.
Las Vegas is such a heartwarming place. All these people are like family to me. We've grown together. Yes, sometimes it's hard with rehearsals because we're working so hard to get at the places we're at now, but all the teachers really help us and support us. And even at our hardest times, they always try to bring us up.
Future Shock was my first dance group that I was actually a part of, so it just incorporated in a weird way because it was just an interest of mine, and I was like, oh, we should do hip hop with Taekwondo, and it just became this whole fusion thing that we really love doing now.
My kids right now are like in their prime. They're like young teenagers. They have so much energy and they're so focused on just dancing so much that they dance before the shows, they dance after the shows, they dance in the show. So I think as an instructor, I'm really lucky to have a group of kids that really want to do it and are ready to be pushed hard.
Such a good thing to be a part of a community, just in anything. It could be dance, it could be martial arts, just anything. Just be together with some organization that is going to give you doing better with yourself and being around good people.
So I really enjoyed the entire thing. There's so many different styles of dance.
There's a lot of young talent out here in Culture Shock. A lot of young kids are trying to express themselves through dance, and it's an amazing and humbling experience to see. So with that being said, I'm Ronnie.
And I'm Jenny.
From the Las Vegas Bureau, and we are One with 25.
Thank you, Jenny Bensuro and Ronnie Kadabulong. That is this week's Eagle News. Join us next week for stories that matter to you. Visit our websites at eaglenews.net and eaglenewslive.com. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/eaglenews and on Facebook at facebook.com/eaglenews. Thank you for watching. I am Jennifer Pollentan, and I am One with 25.